Hey guys, so today we're taking a look at Carpe Diem, designed by Stefan Feld, and this is the latest edition that's come out. So, in this game, you are a patrician where you are trying to improve your city by constructing buildings and beautiful landscapes. So, this is a tile laying game, so you're going to be picking up tiles and placing them on your board to make those dwellings and landscapes. So, let's see how this game is played, and then I will come back up and give you my thoughts. So a quick overview of the setup. You got your victory point cards up here, tiles on the side. You're going to fill in all of these areas with white tiles, and you got your patrician starting here. This row down here is for some black tiles that you'll put out. And then you have this forum area right here. This is set up for a 4-player game, so the forum layout will vary depending on if it's a 2, 3, or 4-player game. And then each player is also going to take a city district with the frame around and place all these writs on these icons here and make sure the shovel is facing this direction. Each player gets a board and some other supplies to start. So the game consists of 4 building phases, and each building phase is actually going to have 7 rounds. Now after each building phase, you're going to have a forum phase which consists of this location over here. So on players' turns, they are going to move their patrician to an adjacent space, so I can move here or here and take a tile and place it on your city district or on your play area for end of the game. Now, if you had a bread token, you could always pay a bread token to stay at the same location or to pick any place to go to. So the first tile that you're placing out on the board has to be placed on the shovel, and you can put it in any direction you would like. And then from there on, you have to place future tiles adjacent to another tile you place, and the landscapes and buildings have to match. So I could put this building here, for instance, because that matches. Now I'm placing a tile in a writ space here. You will put your tile there, and then you get to move your marker up on the prestige bar by 1. Now there's 4 main types of landscapes. You got ponds, vineyards, farmyards, and gardens. And these correspond with these resources as well. Now whenever you complete a landscape, you are going to be able to get that corresponding resource. So let's say we just completed this garden here, which has 2 tiles. So what you do is you're going to add the tiles that the landscape is on, so that's 2 tiles, subtract 1, so that gives us 1 resource. So if I had 3 tiles that had a completed garden, then I would be able to take 2. This other player board here is a nice little resource, and this is where you store your resources, but it's a nice little player aid, which shows you what you can get whenever you complete different things. So we just went over the landscapes, and it shows you what resources you'll get when you complete the landscapes. These show the dwellings and other buildings and the things that you get whenever you complete. So if I were to complete a gray dwelling, I would move up 2 on the prestige bar. If I completed this brown dwelling, I would get 2 bread tokens. And if I completed this yellow building, I could turn in my resources to get gold coins and then add an extra coin. And it's important to note that these coins are actually going to be wilds, so they can be any resource. So these are good to have. And then as you go along, you can see you get other things as well for different buildings. One other building I want to go over are these fountains here. So if you place a fountain, then you can take 2 fountain cards from the deck here, and then you get to choose one that you will keep. It'll be a secret objective for the end, so you can get points at the end of the game for every completed vineyard that you have. So you would keep that and then return the other one to the bottom of the deck. After the building phase is over, then you move into a forum phase, and whoever is highest on the prestige bar gets to go first. And what that person will do is grab one of their markers and place it on a space that connects two cards. So we got a lot of options here. So let's just go here for instance. So what this means is we can try to fulfill this card and this card to get points. So for this, I would have to turn in these 3 resources and I would get 5 points. For this one, if I had completed gray building, then I'd get 3 points. And it's important to note that with these, you can score these multiple times if you can fulfill the requirements multiple times. So for that one, let's say the red player had these 2 resources, but they were missing the grapes. Now, like I mentioned earlier, these coins can be a wild good. So that would satisfy this card and score that player 5 points. Now, also, you can pay 3 bread tokens to fulfill any requirements. So let's say didn't have any gray buildings. So I can go ahead and pay these 3 bread tokens to fulfill that. So then they would have 8 points. Now let's say you cannot fulfill a forum card, then you will actually lose 4 points. So it's important to make sure you can try to fulfill these requirements. So after the forum phase is over, then you're going to replenish the tiles. So you're going to fill up all of these squares with tiles again. However, if it's the end of the 3rd round, then you'll actually put out the black tiles out here. So if it was the 4th forum phase, then it is the end of the game and everybody's going to tally up their points. So first, everyone's going to grab all of their victory point cards and add up all of these. Then you can also get points for any remaining resources you have. So you will add up all your resources and divide by 2, and that'll be a point. So for instance, 2 divided by 2 is 1. So that'll be an extra point there. You will get points for your fountain cards as well. And also, wherever you are on the prestige bar will be points as well. And then everybody would also score their frame achievements. You got these 2 on each frame. And what you're going to do is you're going to draw a line down the middle of this landscape or building down through your city and see if it intersects that matching landscape or building. So for instance, this is the pond. Okay, so we have a line that goes down through this pond here. So we would get 5 points, and you can only score this 1 time each. All right, so let's take a look right here. So then we got draw a line down the center right here, and it crosses through a brown dwelling. So that would give us 4 points. And then you would do that for each of those achievements. And then lastly, you would score points depending on how many chimneys you have in a completed villa. So for instance, at your player board here shows you the key right here. So if you have 4 chimneys like we have on this example in a completed villa, we would score 5 points. All right, so that is an overview of how to play. So I enjoy this game. I really found it interesting picking up the tiles and laying them on your board. I definitely, when I played this game multiple times, I tried to, cover up the writ location so I can move up on the prestige bar, because I've always tried to be that first person to place my marker out in the forum phase, and I've had luck with that. So it's definitely good to be up on the prestige bar, because you don't want to be left with something that you don't have resources for and can't accomplish. But that's also where the 3 bread tokens come in handy, because if you can't meet a condition, 3 bread tokens will always fulfill a condition for you on the forum cards. But I found it really interesting, you have limited spaces on the forum area, because each turn, or each round, those score markers, or not score markers, those markers stay out in the forum. And I also really liked the frame achievements. That was really interesting because you're trying to build things, dwellings and landscapes to get resources and other things, but you're also trying to make sure you have connections with the dwellings and landscapes on your board, so that frame achievement will run down through one of your dwellings or landscapes so you can score points in the game. So I found it really interesting because you have 2 on each side of the frame. So that, it's pretty tricky, but it's definitely fun to try to, puzzle that all together. So yeah, so overall, this is a decent game. Definitely one worth to check out. So that is Carpe Diem, guys. If you want to help us out, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and like this video. Until next time, guys, thanks for watching.